Well, he's someone who's borne the brunt of Asim Munir and what he is capable of. Someone who's been an ardent supporter of Imran Khan. Currently, he's plying his wares in London. Adil Raja joins us. You've served in the military in the past in the Pakistan Army. But thank you for speaking with us here at CNN News 18. At this time, can raise a lot of eyebrows. But this conversation is to understand your reading of the current situation. Had the Pahalgam massacre not happened, things would not have snowballed to where they are today. So let's try and understand your reading as to why that happened and who do you blame for this?
All right, firstly, Anand, let me thank you for bringing out this important point. It is a cardinal sin for a Pakistani to be sitting on an Indian channel and speaking the truth. But I have been speaking the truth to power for last 3 years at least as an investigative journalist based here in the UK. And my stories based on my investigations have got a track record of at least, I would give a very conservative estimate that the 90% of the stories I've done, they became truth on ground. So that is where my credibility has been established as an investigative journalist. And I was a soldier, as you've told to your audience, a third generation Pakistan Army officer. And I represent a class of people in Pakistan which are not allowed to speak, which is the dissent in Pakistan. And this dissent is the majority of Pakistan. As you said, I've been supporting Imran Khan. Why do you think I've been supporting Imran Khan? Because the majority of the people of Pakistan had voted for him and had voted for him repeatedly recently in 8th of the February 2024 elections, where people voted for him. But the military in Pakistan, as they've been doing since 1950, they changed the ballot papers. Instead of the form 45, they made new forms and they changed the results on form 47. And it is not only me saying it, it was the US Parliament, the US Congress report, the British government report, the European Union reports. All the credible institutions have pointed this fact out, and because of this, Representative Joe Wilson have tabled the bill called the Pakistan Democracy Act, which specifically names the Pakistan Army Chief General Asim Munir, who, as per my sources, as I've told you, who have got a track record of 90% credibility, things which have proven right. They told me that it was General Asim Munir who ordered Pahalgam terrorist attack, and this is the cardinal sin, but I stand by what I've said. Asim Munir ordered an attack. Why? Now, this is important, this situation and the background I've given you. It is very important, Anand, for me to say all this, because the current crisis between India and Pakistan, which has been initiated by Asim Munir, because he wanted to change the public narrative, which because of his incompetence have brought political and economic instability in Pakistan, with the popular leader in jail and his party being remote controlled by the military GHQ, by the ISI. So because of this fact, it's a fact, it's not an analysis, Asim Munir has not got the public support. The public is not supporting the Pakistani military. The first time in the history of the country, no matter how many social media troll factories you operate, no matter how many software or how many media outlets you control in Pakistan, it is a fact that the Pakistani people are not standing with their military, and they do realize, and I've been talking today to various senior army officers, and they've been saying that the same, that firstly, Asim Munir is an incompetent leader as the DGISI, as the army chief, and as the Director General of the Military Intelligence as well. His competence was always questioned, and his appointment itself by Nawaz Sharif was questioned, which was after the retirement. So it is clearly evident that the people of Pakistan, their heart is not in this war. They don't want this war. Even the Pakistani military, many officers I talk to, they are not with their higher command.
But why do you think Asim Munir is responsible? You say he was in a fix. The Pak army under his leadership was at its nadir in terms of popularity with the Pakistan army. But why would he want to plot Pahalgam? Why do you believe he's the one who's orchestrated it?
Nasir, Anand, it's an information which was provided to me, and I did not just declare it straight away. I verified it with my sources, the highest sources in the ISI has been giving me information, because of which ISI has started a defamation case against me in the classic SLAP legislation, statutory lawsuit against public participation through their senior commander in the forum shopping here in the UK. So the same sources provided me with this information, and mind you, I gave out this news 30 days before the appointment of Asim Munir that he is going to be the next army chief. The same sources told me Nawaz Sharif had decided in London that he'll be the next army chief. But the situation is that the popular leader has been jailed. He has not been able to control the respect or the support of the public. The previous escalation with India was under General Musharraf, and General Musharraf not only had the coalition support fund, which was providing him the financial backing for this escalation, which was there in 2001, 2002, but he also had the public support with him. All right. And before that, it was General Zia-ul Haq who came to and met Rajiv Gandhi, and he said a lot of things. I'm not going to go in there. But General Zia-ul Haq also had the public support. Asim Munir has not got that public support. So to get that public support, first he tried to initiate hostilities with Afghanistan, and they tried to sell Afghanistan as the new enemy. And he wanted to, open up a front at the western borders. But the Afghans were wise enough to understand, firstly, and secondly, the Afghans have got divided tribes with Pakistan at the Pakistan-Afghanistan border, which they call the Durand Line. I mean, they're the same nation, same tribes living with both sides of the borders. So it's very difficult. And then he really, pushed them once he expelled millions of Afghan refugees living here for decades and decades, born and brought up in Pakistan. He threw them back, only the poor people, not the rich one, mind you. But even then, the Afghans showed a strategic restraint. And then Afghans were labeled as terrorists, but the Americans didn't buy it. Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad intervened, and we know where that went, right? All right, so there was no other option for Asim Munir but to follow through his favorite theory of bleed India by 1,000 cuts. That was his favorite theory.
But Adil, if I may intervene, if you say Asim Munir was responsible for Pahalgam, Pulwama happened when Imran Khan was the Prime Minister. So that was also an escalation. So how can you absolve Imran Khan of anything, and the amount of vitriol he spewed against India? And Asim Munir, correct me if I'm wrong, was DG ISI at that time. So how are things any different between 2019 and 2025?
Anand, you're right, actually, but at that time, you must realize that Imran Khan and the Pakistani military was on the one page, all right, one page. And it was the philosophy of Imran Khan in the in-house discussion. He would say that for coming into power in Pakistan, you have to be on the one page with military. But once you're in power, then you can expand civilian supremacy. And he tried to follow through, but it resulted in him being thrown out of power and then thrown in the jail. All right. So that is where he realized and started speaking up against this the military hegemony in Pakistan. And because of that, a false flag operation on the 9th of May was carried out by the Pakistani military intelligence. The main reason was to declare Imran Khan's party, the Pakistan Tehreek-e-Insaf, a terrorist outfit, but it didn't work out because the corps commander of Lahore, Lieutenant General Salman Ghani, he did not come on board, and that's why he was thrown out of the army, and that's why he still remains at an unidentified position, almost house arrest. So now they are no more on one page, the one page mantra, and the kind of public support Pakistan military enjoyed, irrespective of losing half the country.
So you're saying Pulwama. So you're saying Pulwama had Imran Khan's buy-in, or was it somebody else who effected Pulwama?
Well, you see, as the things are transpiring, everything is being questioned in Pakistan. That whatsoever we've been told, whatsoever we've been sold, all that myths are shattering right now. So I'm sure that same point would also be debated. And my sources, I mean, I'm not at liberty to say, but they have discussed certain things which let the fever come down, and I might be revealing all those things with proof as well. But right now, I'm not at liberty to say those things. At the end of the day, Anand, I am a Pakistani military officer, and I have to be responsible as an investigative journalist. So once I'll find a proof, I will talk about it. But yes, Asim Munir was the DGISI once Pulwama happened, and yes, Asim Munir was kicked out as a DGISI by the Imran Khan because he was, he ordered the killing of civilians in Hafizabad, small little children, and the parents were killed in an operation by ISI. I mean, that became the reason why Imran Khan kicked him out. But there was a lot of lobbying going on against him because General Bajwa, who was the chief, he wanted his declared his favorite person, General Faz Hamid, to become the DGISI. He was the DGC at that time. So there were a lot of moving parts there, wheels within wheels, and I am investigating that matter as well.
Right. Let's understand the situation now. There is step by step going up the escalation ladder. Pakistan has tried to attack Indian military installations across 15 locations. India has replied and said, we don't want to escalate further, but if you do something, we will respond in equal measure. Terror infrastructure has been brought down by India. These are all post-Pahalgam. What the current situation from a Pakistani perspective is, it consolidates Asim Munir. General Asim Munir now has his man as DGISI, that is Asim Malik. So has Asim Munir succeeded in his objectives? How do you see this panning out going forward?
Anand, Asim Malik, the DGISI, is a competitor to General Asim Munir. He's a blue blood son of a lieutenant general himself, and he is a competitor, and that's why he has been appointed as the national security advisor, so that he is out of the equation, all out of the competition. And of course, there are reports that he has been appointed as the national security advisor on the pressure from Washington D.C., so that once an opportunity arises, he talks to the Indian NSA on equal footing, and he has already talked to the Indian NSA as per news report. So that is the background of appointing Asim Malik. And the current DG military intelligence, Major General Wajid Aziz, he's lobbying to become the next DGISI, and he is Asim Munir loyalist. Yes, Asim Munir is deeply entrenched in the system, but till the time the system works in a way that till the time he does not have public support, he cannot survive. And because of not having public support, there is a constant political instability. And because of the political instability, there is economic instability. And that is the main thing, you know. So armies march on their bellies, as Napoleon said. So right now, how long they can sustain these hostilities, that is the million-dollar question.
See, one of the biggest issues that faces Pakistan is the control of the military establishment. The military establishment tends to dictate everything that is happening in Pakistan. It's not the civilian government or the elected government. Most of the elections have been a sham, and most leaders have tried to work equations with the military and thereafter coming into power. It's a reality. How does that change? Because if things have to change in Pakistan, and if you believe that the larger number of people in Pakistan don't want war, don't want bloodshed, don't want jihadi tanzeems, etc., under the patronage of the Pakistani military, then the military establishment has to be defanged. Current scenario doesn't say that happening. Current scenario only shows Pakistan may be dismembered or broken into multiple, entities if things go down this direction. You agree, disagree there? And how are things going to come to a parity where people have control?
All right. So, Anand, I'm going to say something which is very unpopular currently in Pakistan, but this is a fact. All right. If things have to change, then Imran Khan has to make a choice, because people have entrusted Imran Khan. He's the popular leader. So Imran Khan has to make a choice that whether he's going to deal with the military or he's going to deal with the politicians. He said the politicians are corrupt, which is right, but it's a choice between a lesser evil. Who is the lesser evil? So the decision has to be made by Imran Khan, and if you want the end of military occupation in Pakistan, it's not going to happen overnight, but it's a process which can happen, I would say, in 4 to 5 years, and it can start within a few months, in fact, if Imran Khan is enabled and if there is international pressure, like there is Pakistan Democracy Act in the United States Congress, which calls for Magnitsky-style sanctions on General Asim Munir and his associates that are going to clip their wings because the generals, they are working for their own personal benefits. They become multi-millionaires in the US dollars by becoming generals. So they won't like any sanctions to affect them. So they will themselves turn upon Asim Munir and they will themselves turn upon anyone who tries to follow through his footpath, his footsteps. So that is where the international pressure matters, and that international pressure has to enable Imran Khan to make a decision because he has been voted in. Right now, he's the most popular leader. And then it comes down to Imran Khan that whether he makes a deal with the military or with the politicians. So far, he's favoring the military, but that I don't think personally that is the right choice. He has to make a deal with the politicians and then go for independent elections and send the military back into barracks. Easier said than done, but it is possible. It is doable. There is resolve in the Pakistani military and intelligence community to follow through. That is true. Second part of your question is that is there a realistic chance of Balkanization of Pakistan? Well, there is a lot of talk in Pakistan about the Balkanization of Pakistan. Yes, the talk is there. Currently, there are insurgencies going on in Balochistan, which has got Indian footprint over there, as Kulbhushan Jadhav was a smoking gun which has been caught over there, right? So the question is that how India is going to play here as a regional power, and how China is going to respond as they are responding by supporting Pakistan already. Again, it is in the context of the great power rivalry, and of course, America has got a strong influence still, irrespective of China being deeply entrenched in Pakistan. America has got a very strong hold over the Pakistani politicians and the Pakistani military, because the Pakistani military generals' assets are in the Western world, not in Beijing or Moscow. All right, they're in the Western world. They love to live in London. They love to live in America, different states of America. Their children studying here in the UK, in the USA. So they are more concerned about what the Western world, led by US, has to say, and that is where the solution to this problem lies as far as Balkanization is concerned. Well, it is a possibility, but that possibility, if India follows through, right, then that will definitely lead into a strategic catastrophe. That will definitely lead into a mutually assured destruction.
You've made a lot of statements. Whether or not Bharat is involved with Balochistan is beyond my pay grade, and as far as the government position is concerned, they are not. The other thing is the Baloch are very proud people. The fact that they are fighting against Pakistani occupation since 1948 itself is witness to that they don't like to be controlled. They are their own minds and they are their own people. Now, if the Baloch tribes start organizing themselves and they become one, then nobody is going to stop them. And it's not in Bharat's interest at all to get there, because we've got nothing to share with them, even in terms of borders. So that's the reality. But 48% of the landmass of current Pakistan, 48% of landmass of current Pakistan is Balochistan, and Balochistan is strategically placed between the Pak province of Punjab and Sindh, and on the other side is Afghanistan. So if the Chinese and if the Americans and powers of the world wake up to a new reality with respect to Gwadar, Afghanistan and Balochistan, and if the Baloch organize themselves, that's a different geopolitical happening compared, and Bharat does not need to do anything, frankly, there. The issue is how many people in Pakistan, and the real issue is this: how many people in Pakistan today echo what Asim Munir said when he talked about the two-nation theory. He talked about Hindus versus Muslims, and Hindustan and Pakistan being two different ideologically driven cultures and culturally different, and Hindus and Muslims cannot live together. And thereafter Pahalgam happens, where Hindus are singled out and killed. So how many people identify with something like this, or with this thought process in Pakistan, will define the equations between Bharat and Pakistan, irrespective of who is in power? That's my final question.
Anand, you're right. You're right there. All right. First of all, I support, and I get labeled as a traitor for supporting the Baloch people's right for self-governing themselves. And there still are gross human rights violation occurring against my Baloch brethren. The women like Marang Baloch, Sami Baloch, these women, these young girls whose parents have been killed by the Pakistani military, turned into missing person. Their dead bodies were returned. Right now, there is a special cell operating, and I've already reported it. That's why I'm saying it openly, by the Director General of the Internal Wing, Major General Faisal Nasir, who is a term who has been named Dirty Harry by Imran Khan. There is a special cell operating under him, which is carrying out extrajudicial killings of the Baloch people, not only the Baloch people, but anyone who shows dissent, political dissent or dissent on the water policy of the military corporate forming, the new canals issue. So they're being handled with the force. People are being killed in Sindh, in Punjab, in Balochistan, and particularly in Balochistan, the Baloch people are suffering, and the suffering need to end. They want to talk out the things, but they are not. The state of Pakistan are handling them with force, and there are gross human rights violations occurring against them. There are no. I completely support the Baloch people and their right for self-govern and their human rights, right? But at the same time, Kulbhushan Jadhav is a smoking gun, right? So that's debatable. That's debatable. We're not going to go there. Fine, but at the same time, the second thing you've said, the
about Asim Munir, Hindu Muslim, two nation.
General Asim Munir's
and how many people
speech.
in Pakistan subscribe to this?
All right, let me tell you, Anand, the people sitting over there were paid money to come from overseas, and they're mostly, I've got nothing against taxi drivers, and I've got nothing against the working class. They're my people. I love them, but those were the people who were brought in because no notable, less a couple of government contractors accepted the invitation of Asim Munir. That was basically a convocation for the overseas Pakistani to control the narrative, because the only resistant Asim Munir is getting after banning social media in the country and after controlling the media in the country is from the overseas Pakistanis. So he wanted to show the world that the overseas Pakistanis are with me, and that he wanted to get an opportunity to speak. In fact, he exposed himself. So he called these overseas Pakistanis who came on a 2-day holiday, who were provided there are reports that they were given $2,000 to $3,000 per person, and they were given boarding and lodging by the Pakistani government at public expense. And then he went on with his ranting about the two-nation theory, went on, misquoted the Quranic verses, and he wanted to show the country and the world that he is the strong man. He wanted, and that is where I say that he wants to reincarnate himself as Ziaul Haq. He wants to become the Khalifa. That's what he was trying to do. But the people of Pakistan made fun of him. He made fun of himself. He really embarrassed us in and around the world, in Pakistan and around the world, by saying what he was saying, all right? Two-nation theory is a separate topic, but what he was saying, he was hate-mongering, and he was hate-mongering for political motives, and we could tell it straight away. I mean, how in the world you're talking about two-nation theory after you were telling us that Afghanistan is the enemy, and since the Americans got involved and gave you a shut-up call there, Ambassador Zalmay Khalilzad came out, and he was there in Kabul on behalf of America, he questioned the mental health of Asim Munir. You go on India-Pakistan rivalry, it has been used traditionally for political purposes. You go out and you call Indians and you call out Hindus. There are Hindus in Pakistan. I mean, look at the Muslims living in India. I mean, you can't really sell it, There are a lot of Muslims living in India, but he made use of the Indian Hindu fundamentalist ideology and the way Hindutva is being portrayed. It's a political ideology, but its effect is that it is seen as an anti-Muslim ideology in Pakistan, right? And the Indian Muslims have been speaking out against it. So he tried to, manipulate the public sentiments over there. But at the same time, it's very interesting that the Director General of Military Intelligence and the ISI, they approved a delegation. They cleared the delegation which went to Israel, and they want to normalize ties with Israel as well. So I'm not saying that I'm not mixing two things, but General Asim Munir has been named the deceiver by the Pakistani army ever since he was a captain in the army. Once he was doing the staff course in the Command and Staff College, Quetta, he was named the deceiver, officially named the deceiver, and I published with his picture as well. And ever since he's been called the deceiver. So he was trying to deceive the people of Pakistan by telling them that, all right, India is your enemy, not me, not my military rule, not my policy. India is the enemy. And obviously, he must have been planning the Pahalgam attack. That's why that was that was the first step to create public perception about that. And soon after that address, the Pakistani military's public relationing wing, the ISPR, they produced a song, and that is their modus operandi. They produce songs, and they produce these songs, and they try to hype up the anti-India fever or the anti-Hindu fever, I would say. Fine, he tried to do that, but people in Pakistan do not relate to what he's saying, and people of Pakistan did not buy what he was selling over there. And to get the real pulse of the people of Pakistan, you need to talk to them, and you need to look at the independent social media, because the media in Pakistan is being controlled. So nobody bought what he was selling over there, and everybody understood that the way he was speaking up, all hyped up, all with a red face. He was trying to trying to sell this narrative that I am the savior and I am going to, I'm the strong man. So at that particular time, everybody was a bit confused at what he's saying. But what happened in Pahalgam and the reports which followed through told us that all whatsoever he's doing for his personal rule and personal extension. Because at the end of the day, now the people of Pakistan, because of individuals like me who are carrying out this fight, who's speaking truth to power, who's making them realize that the generals only care for themselves. Because if you become a general, that to a 4-star general, you are a billionaire then. And who doesn't want to be a billionaire?
No, those stories have come out oftentimes in the past, including with Qamar Javed Bajwa. I will say, Adil Raja, thank you for being very candid, and thank you for speaking with us. Stay safe, and let's hope there is a resolution that emerges from within the polity and the people of Pakistan. Because if Asim Munir continues to drive this nation down the line that he has now set it on the same tracks, then there is only going to be mass-scale devastation. And twice in 2 days or in 2 nights, shame has been heaped upon him as a leader, as a general. Let's hope that the world wakes up to that, and more importantly, the people of Pakistan and the polity of Pakistan wakes up to that. And if it's got to be some upright members of the Pakistan military establishment who've got to stand up to Asim Munir sooner than later, let's hope for that. Thank you. Thank you, Adil Raja. Thank you for speaking.
Thank you.